pull up a chair. This is Fluxtaposed, episode 219, recorded on July. That's not January, that's July 10th, 2018, on the docket today. IRL, the games that made us. Totally not a ripoff of Netflix's The Toys That Made Us. Get caught up on what you play, featuring Fallout. Yes, Fallout, and Hollow Knight. Yes, more Hollow Knight. Also, Adam Leonard. Finally, we'll close out the show with the community grab bag and that sweet, sweet, awkward finish. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And as always, enjoy the show. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Fluxtaposed. I am Jason Lacey. I am joined by my bestest friend in the whole wide world, Mr. Lucas Rose.
Hi, the whole wide world, huh?
Yeah. It's not a narrow world. It's pretty wide.
That's good.
Whole wide.
It's good.
Prestige worldwide. Prestige worldwide.
Ooh. I feel classy.
You should.
And prestigious, I guess. Worldwide.
Worldwide.
All
You
over
should.
the world.
You should. I watched
Is that
Step Brothers the other day. That's why I'm doing that.
Okay. I thought maybe it was Pitbull. Because you know how in every song he always talks about how it's worldwide?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. No, I feel you.
And that his name is Pitbull.
He's named after a breed of dog. That is correct.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Real scrappy breed of dog, you know? A lot of fight in him.
Yeah. Hey, it's not the size of the dog and the fight. It's the size of the fight and the dog. That's what I'm told.
Is that
I think DMX said that.
Oh.
Could be Tupac. Definitely Tupac. I don't know. We're white. We don't know these things.
I know all those things.
We're in white suburbia. We're the complete opposite people that have any reference on this whatsoever.
White burbia?
Yeah.
Does that work? Is that
Sure.
a thing? Okay.
Sure. Hey, whatever.
Cool.
Welcome to the episode. Thank you guys for listening. We are glad to have you here. We are still doing the June promo in July. Now, not to say I can guarantee there'll be a winner at the end of this month. So
wow.
you still have a chance to get in. Please check out patreon.com/fluxtaposed for details, and you can win yourself some swag.
You're gonna want to get in there.
It's a good deal for you and all involved. What is this can? What is this you're drinking? This is Dasani sparkling. I did not know Dasani
Speaking
had
of
sparkling water.
Being white and black.
Gosh, look
it
how
don't
far
matter.
we've fallen, folks.
It's
We used
black
to
cherry.
come on this podcast and we talk about this is the craft beer we're drinking. Now we're like, ooh, what kind of sparkling water are you drinking? Do tell, my friend. Do tell.
Is it
I'm so
bubbly? Is it
curious.
Dasani? Is it
Ooh,
Lacroix?
so excited about bottled water, carbonated.
I am too.
You should
We've been
be.
hoodwinked. It's just water.
Your first time listener, this is what you have to expect from Fluxtaposed. Thank you. Viewers that you're watching live or watching the recording on YouTube, welcome. Hello to our faces. Say hello in chat. We'll cue you in later on. Yes. Lucas, top of the order, top of the line, top of the mission statement today.
Yeah.
We got it's time to pick a Netflixation for next month.
Wow.
We had texted. I can't remember what your choice was, sir.
I'm trying to
go
remember.
back. We're going back. Hold on, I got the message. We're going back to the old ways. Well, not really the old ways.
It was that Ryan Reynolds movie.
When we like to give you, the listeners, the viewers, an option, we're gonna throw these out here onto the social meets, and you'll vote. You'll vote for the Netflixation. So, Lucas, you had said, my friend, The Voices or Tao.
TKO. I think I'm gonna go with the Voices, because it's not sci-fi or horror.
Okay.
Although
Excellent.
I think it might be dark humor. So.
Ooh. So, all right, listeners, viewers, we're going to put up on the social media, most likely Twitter, because that's like the only one we pay attention to as much as we should. On Twitter, we'll have a poll with these two movies, The Vault or The Voices. You get your vote in, and whichever one is the winner.
The Battle of the V's.
The V for Vendetta. We will watch this to talk about on the first show of August, because that's what we do. Netflix Nation moved. It's our first show of August. It's no longer the last show of the month. It's the first show of the month.
Flipper flapped it.
We flipper flapped it. So there you go. Netflix Nation. We'll put the vote up. Get your votes in. It'll be grand old time. Lucas, let's just steamroll right into IRL.
Okay.
I hope you mentioned that luxurious shout out you received today from a Mega Dad talking about how awesome you are and how trashy I am.
What happened?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't really pay attention to people who are insignificant. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. For some reason, I decided to play the field.
I already know how you feel about people from Minnesota, judging how you treat our cameraman, Chad.
Minnesota. Hey, he deserved it. He was talking about his football team, and he doesn't even like football. Okay? American League football.
Okay.
See, it's not as important for you. No, it was a wonderful shout out. I have not been on Twitter that much, and so I saw, oh my gosh, I've been mentioned in something. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, it was something nice, which was completely unexpected from Adam, because usually he's too busy burninating people and making fun of them for their
he has a certain presence on the social meets.
He does.
He has to hundo P that persona on there.
I think he was the one who started the fire. You know that song? Adam started the fire. Burning since the world's been turned. Oh, YouTube copyright strike.
Ooh,
way to go.
Hey,
and I mentioned wrestling, so we're really doubly screwed.
That's our MO on this podcast, the
That's
YouTube
true.
copyright strike. So
that's true. Our HMO. Yeah, it was wonderful. He basically said I was better than you because I allow you to run around and date other podcasts, even though you always come home to me. So,
yeah, it's true.
We have an open relationship, and you've always said I could go on other podcasts if I wanted to. I just, I feel a certain sense of loyalty, I guess, but, that's fine. It's fine. I don't cry at night anymore. Anyways, moving beyond those emotional things that we shall not talk about, it was very nice, and I thank you. I got my floors done. I got my first floors done.
What?
I've been posting. I've been on Facebook. I said, look at me. Look at all my new stuff. I feel like a sim. Like some hand of God came in and redid my house and just plopped some stuff down. You know what I'm saying?
You walk around with an exclamation point above your head. Ooh,
and then I gestured at the new couch or whatever.
I see your Simlish is almost as good as mine.
Sabodiba. Thank you.
There's a dog.
Random dog.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's your dog and not just,
It is.
Some other dog. So we did the floors, but then we decided, we're going to go with the whole thing and just get it all done while my wife is off for summer break. And so we did the trim. We got new furniture because we sorely needed it, as you could see by the fact that you removed a disgusting old couch from our living room. And that's gone. New furniture.
It was in rough shape.
It was rough. It was quite rough.
It was well lived.
It was. It had a good life, and now it lives in the middle of my driveway until I can get rid of it, because freaking Goodwill doesn't take anything anymore. I don't know if you realize this, but they just don't accept donations anymore.
Did you make a big scene? You're like, oh, well, my stuff's not good enough for you, huh? Wow.
I should have, but instead I was actually really pissed because they waited until we got it off the trailer.
Oh.
He was like, some dumbass 16-year-old kid was like, I better ask about the couch. I better ask my superiors. And I'm
you got to do that kid from the pimply kid from The Simpsons.
Oh, I'm going to have to ask about the couch, sir.
There you go.
I don't think he's coming back. And I gave him I gave him my normal look. You know, just the unpleased,
the angry stare,
the resting bitch face. And I'm like, fine, whatever. And nope, they don't take it. Time to load it back up. So we did. But anyways, that's gone now. That's neither here nor there. It's in the driveway. And forever it shall remain, where we shall sit on it and drink beer and go, mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I like it. That's good. That's good.
Good. So all is right in the world. We have a living room now. We have furniture. It's only been like a week without furniture. It was horrible. But things are back to normal for the most part, and it feels good. For now, though. We still have more to do. We still have to do the stairs. We have to do the door, the entryway door. So it's never done.
No.
It's never done. There's never a stopping point. You just keep working on it, and then you keep saying, one day I'll sell this house, and then you don't because you put so much work into it, and then you die, and it's still not done. And then somebody else buys your house, and then you haunt them until they kill themselves. And I just made a Hollywood movie. It's that easy, Jason.
That's all it takes. That's
all it takes. Creepy dolls, haunted houses. I have a birthday coming up this week, Jason.
You do.
You do. I'm the big birthday boy.
I might have given you a little shout out on a little podcast I did last night called If We Ran the Tender.
Whoa. That's the real.
Yep.
I mean, if you're listening to this, you might as well quit now and just go over there because it sounds like you guys have a pretty good time.
Yeah, I mean, Chad and I have a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun, you know.
You better be talking in only that voice at all times. It's Nintendo. It's a pretty good system. I don't know why you sound like Kermit all of a sudden. It went from your George Lucas impression into Kermit, but hey, that's fine.
Yeah, Kermit the Frog here.
But that's just me. Yeah, so Thursday is my birthday, and we're going to Michigan Adventures, of all things.
Oh, really?
Not really. It just kind of worked out this way. Because they had free...
Has Isaac ever been to an amusement park?
Oh, he's not going. He is not going.
Oh.
This is not for the kids. This is an adult entertainment website. Or, I mean, pleasure house. Anyways, don't ask about the details. No, they had free tickets, did our in-laws, the brother-in-law and his fiance.
Okay.
And so they were like, do you want to just do that?
So your usual social circle.
Pretty much, yeah. The only people who can, well, they watch our kid a lot, so we kind of have to.
No, that's cool.
Thanks. You shit all over them, and then you say, no, but seriously, that's cool. So they were like, do you just want to do that? And I was like, well, I mean, I didn't want to be like, well, no, but I told my wife earlier today, I was like, it's not really the first thing I'd pick because I don't like going on rides.
Gosh.
I don't.
Okay. This really changed. I was not aware of that. Okay.
No,
this changes that.
It's like plane rides. You know, it's like going on a plane. I am convinced that this is the time that everything that will go wrong and can go wrong is going to go wrong. And it will be my last. My first.
This is our last podcast together.
Basically. You know how in Roller Coaster Tycoon, when you delete part of the track, but you let it go through the test anyway, and they just go straight into the ground.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna be. That's
okay.
You know,
that makes sense.
That's what's gonna happen.
We have a very burning question from the chat because Dude427 is an awesome guy. Wants to know, while you're on your new couch, are you going to talk about propane? Possibly propane accessories.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to talk about propane and propane accessories. Damn it, Bobby. What the hell? Oh. All those things and more. Sorry.
You had to go the full gamut. Once you start, you got to do the full gamut. Otherwise,
loop,
it's just going to slowly leak out throughout the rest of the show. I get that.
Yeah, I hate when it slowly leaks out. Dab that up. And so, yeah, I will be turning 32. We're going to go to Michigan Adventures. And I'm going to be looking all fat in my inner tube down the lazy river, and I'm just gonna do that for 4 hours probably.
Yeah, I see. I don't think I have the self-confidence or the non-self-loathing to handle the water park anymore.
I'm gonna be the guy who's wearing a shirt. I'm gonna be shirt guy.
The olden days, but now I'm just like I'm too self-conscious now.
Oh, yeah.
I can't go there and have a good time anymore.
No.
Until I take my kid. Then it's like then I don't care.
Then you don't. Well, yeah, and that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be, wearing my clingy wet shirt. It's not hiding anything. I know other guys do it because you don't want to take your shirt off in front of everybody. I'm gonna be doing it too, but I'm not fooling anyone. They're gonna see my curvaceous body, and well, all I can say is I got in for free. So what do you want? Don't look at me.
Just make sure you wear your Deadpool tank top.
Pool party?
Yeah,
that'll really stick. I needed some moisture wicking material, some kind of polyester, not polyurethane. That would be horrible.
No, polyurethane would not be good.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. But that's kind of going to lead into next week when I talk about either how great or horrible or how I regret not going on any rides because it looks so much fun. That whole thing. Oh, and we're going to go to a brewery, Unruly
Oh, nice.
Brewery.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I've had something of theirs. Are you? Is everyone else going to go on rides and you're just going to be like awkwardly just standing there by yourself while everyone?
I'm not sure. I don't think my wife is going to go on any rides. I can.
This is going to be a really interesting trip. I can't wait to hear how this goes.
I can handle like maybe the scrambler or something, something, maybe a kiddie coaster or something.
I guess you have to look forward to an outing without your son. I mean,
yeah,
there's that. I mean,
there's that, and the food afterward,
and the beer.
I really wanted to get contacts before going into the water park, but that didn't happen.
I didn't even think about that.
I may come back. Like,
oh,
where is everybody? Hans Moman.
You look like Mr. Magoo.
Hey, Mr. Magoo. All right, you talk for a while.
my turn to talk now. Okay. It's funny you talk about the water park because we went to the beach last weekend.
By the beach.
The one right here, Millennium Park, the man-made one. So I had never taken Aiden to something like that. Beach. So we got to use that new UV tent that we purchased and had the
one where
the sun tent
take it out
that we opened in the living room. Yeah, you just throw it in the air and it's like.
Can you throw it at enemies and it will distract them?
Yeah, I think so. They'll go, "What was that noise?" And walk away,
and then walk towards it and stand and stare at it for 5 minutes while you sneak behind them. I like it.
So we did that, and now that Aiden's like on the one nap program, so now he only takes the one nap a day for like anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And so last Saturday, he decided to take a 3-hour nap, and it was like
what
the greatest thing. So like Jess was gonna take a nap, so I was like, all right, sweet, I'm gonna go down, play some games. Got to the point where it's like I feel like I've played for a long time. I think I'm done. Not to the point where it's like, oh, I think my son's waking up. It was like, I think I'm gonna be done. Walk upstairs, he's still sleeping. So then I went out in the backyard and I like ripped out weeds. I was like throwing weeds everywhere and cleaned up some stuff. And then I was really tired, so then I bought some beer and grilled some barbecue food. It was a good day.
Good. That sounds like
the Voodoo Ranger IPA from
I had that recently.
New Belgium. Thank you. I don't know why I always struggle to forget that brewery's name. It's good. Good stuff.
It's good.
And then so that was like a fun part of the weekend. And then like Sunday, man, I don't know what it was. Sunday it was just like we were watching my in-laws' dog, and then Aiden was acting out, and I was just like, I can't deal with life right now. I want a little hold, hide. And I just noticed, though, he's got, like, all these teeth coming in at once. So I think that's why sometimes he's irritable, because literally he's got the 2 teeth coming in next to his front teeth. He's got 2 of his back teeth. I think he's got teeth coming on the bottom. He's got, like, he possibly has anywhere between 4 and 6 teeth coming in at the same time. So he's a little...
Ouch.
He has some issues. Okay. Now it's time to go Office Space. Now,
okay.
I'll show it. I'll show it on the camera here. So right here, if you can see, I don't know if you even can see it. Can you see that printer on the floor there?
Oh yeah, right next to your penis.
Yeah, that's the one. My penis is there for scale. So
Nice.
That printer we've had forever.
Yeah.
And it hasn't had ink in it forever. And what they say
That's not
about
good.
printers when you don't have ink in it is all the print heads will clog up and it won't ever work again. But I kind of forgot about that. And Jess has been selling stuff online, and sometimes she doesn't want to wait for me to get home with the printer label and wants to be able to, ship things the same day.
Yeah.
So while she was out, she bought some ink. I throw it in there. I'm like, okay, let's try it. I tried to print something, and it was almost like printed. There was just a couple pieces of little speckles of where it didn't print the shipping label. So like, okay, let's clean the print heads. Clean the print heads, try it again. It was worse. Clean the print heads, try again. It was even worse.
Oh God.
Like nothing showing up on the page. So then I did an alignment where that's like it prints out a straight blob of cyan, a straight blob of magenta, and yellow and black. There was no yellow. There was no black. The cyan and magenta were fine. So I'm like, okay, we got problems. So then I tried to do the print heads again. It just got worse. So finally, I just took it apart. I pulled the print head out, and I cleaned it with water. I guess you can use alcohol as well. But I gave this thing a whole once over. By the time I was done, I could get yellow. Yellow was printing, but black was still not working. I did this 2 or 3 more times. Then finally, and every time you put it in, it thinks it's a new print head. So you have to do an alignment. Well, about the 3rd time I did that, it's like, oh, you don't have enough ink to do an alignment. I was like, fucking kidding me? I put it back in. I go to try to do a test. I cleaned the print heads, I think, again, and I was still getting the same bad performance. Everything was working fine, but the black, for whatever reason, the black is not working.
I don't think you had enough ink.
I do the ink. I check out the ink levels. Yep, ink's critical. So within 30 minutes of trying to
turn to Jessica?
Yeah, I went.
Jessica, black ink levels are critical.
No, I said, are you fucking kidding me? Because in the matter of 30 minutes, I used up all the ink just trying to get the printer to work.
Where did it go? It wasn't going on the page.
$40 down the drain, just like that.
Man, that's why I'm glad we have HP Instant Connect. Brought to you by Hewlett Packard.
I could get another print head, because that's the problem. I'm sure I just need to get a whole new print head, but they're like $50 alone. So it's like, is it really worth it?
That's why it's better when they have them on the actual cartridges, so that when you replace the cartridge, it replaces the ink head as well instead of.
I mean, I would think at this point I'd probably be better off just buying a whole new printer. But really, for as often as we print, I think we're just better off going to Staples and paying 10 cents a page.
Yeah.
And then we ship a lot of stuff from Pack Mail, and they'll do it there too, but they'll charge $1 a page. $1. What?
It's like they don't really want you to do it. If we make it expensive, nobody will order it.
Even then, it's still cheaper. But I mean, this was my office space moment, basically. This piece of shit. So
I'm surprised when you said you took out the printer head. I thought you were gonna say you threw it through the window or something, not just. And then I gently gave it a bath.
I mean, I worked on an old inkjets at my one IT job where I had an issue where you could see the tube that the ink would flow through wouldn't stay on, and I tried to clamp it on there, and it would work for 2 seconds, but then it would just blow off again, and ink would go everywhere inside the printer. I should have known better because this is a Kodak printer, and Kodak doesn't even exist as a company.
Yeah.
Anymore, so I mean,
made in 1999. I'm surprised you were able to find ink for it.
I don't even remember. I think we got it after we were married, so we've probably had this thing 5 years. I mean, that's a problem, and we haven't had ink in it for
printer years. That's 5 printers basically.
I mean, I was surprised it even almost worked. So it's just man, I feel like ink and printers are the biggest scam in modern office equipment.
You can buy a printer for $100, a decent printer, and then you go to get ink, and it's like, oh, I just spent at least half of the price of the printer in ink. That's great. Cool.
Yeah.
Guess I will print 1 page. My allotment is 1 page per month because otherwise I'll be in the poorhouse.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why we did not to really turn this into a commercial, but that is why we did the instant ink thing, because Danette is constantly printing for school.
So you guys, I can't remember, does that work on a subscription?
Yeah, it's basically $11 a month, and then your pages roll over if you don't print all of them, and they just send you ink whenever you need it. However,
I mean, honestly, for you guys, you're saving a ton of money because you probably go through a couple cartridges a month.
It's not that bad, but it's few and far between. Or it's a lot but far in between, I guess I should say. Where she'll go, 3 or 4 weeks without printing, and then suddenly I need to print 150 pages like today or whatever. And that's a lot of pages for just a single, at-home use printer. So
yeah.
But it works out well for us in the long run because, like you said, ink is a real racket they got going on.
It's a real pain in the butt. That's what it is.
It's true. It's true. Well, you could have just drawn it by hand.
I could, I guess. I mean, I know how to draw. I can draw barcodes. That's cool.
Yeah.
Lucas, we're doing something new.
Oh.
We're doing something new.
Okay.
Listeners and Lucas, we decided, remember a few episodes ago, I was like, hey, I need to do a better job of creating content for this podcast. And I was like, let's do a reoccurring segment. Guess what? We're doing it tonight.
We're doing it live.
Doing it live. This is going to be called The Games That Made Us, dear listeners. And what we thought would be fun to do is, I don't know how long we'll keep this going. It'll be, I think, once a month is when that segment will pop up. But essentially, we're going to pull, Lucas and I each will pull a game from our own closets, our own layers of nostalgia, and share why that game is important to us and why we like that game. And maybe it's something we've mentioned before, maybe it's something not, but I think it's a cool way to talk about something that kind of shaped, I don't know if I want to say shaped us as a gamer, but helped us on a journey to where we are today as game enthusiasts or, rad dudes that do a podcast, let's be honest.
Slow down, Bart Simpson. Don't have cow, man.
So we are plagiarizing the name, and it's called The Games That Made Us.
The games that made us. The games that made us are here.
The games that made us.
And
so
we
funny.
get a letter in the mail.
We're like so funny. I can't believe that. No, I'm not finishing that statement.
We're two wild and crazy guys.
That's right. Lucas, would you like to share
Sure.
the tale with the listeners of your game of old?
Part of me, even though I put I put some work into this, part of me just wants to be like, yeah, my name is Lucas and my game is this, and I like it. It's a good game, and just leave it at that.
You can do that.
Okay. All right. Well, I just did it, so it's your turn. No. For me, I chose Dead Space.
Hey, I started playing that game like a year ago.
Yeah. Well, I thought he could relate to this at least because I didn't want to go with any of the obvious choices, especially ones I may have mentioned in past episodes. I'll get to some of those, I'm sure, at some point as we continue this. But Dead Space is important to me.
It's a good game.
But let's talk about what Dead Space is for those who don't know.
Maybe some people aren't familiar with Dead Space. They don't know what Dead Space is.
Here's a fun fact for you. It was made by Visceral Games, rest in peace. They were bought by EA and
then destroyed.
Much like they do with everything. This game came out 10 years ago. How do you feel about that?
That sounds about right, because I don't know why I never paid any attention to this game 10 years ago.
Well, I remember you played the demo for PC, and you're like, these fucking controls are terrible.
Well, that was recently, though.
Oh, was it? I thought at the time you did.
Actually, no. Take that back. I never played the demo for PC. I didn't ever played it on PC until I got the game free on Origin.
Oh my!
And then I went back and gave it a real get-go. But I played it. I think there was a demo for Dead Space 2 on Xbox 360.
Yes, that was a good demo too.
And I was just bad at it.
It does take some getting used to.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more action-oriented, but it is a survival horror game set in a sci-fi horror setting. And in this game, you play, you're in control of an engineer named Isaac Clarke who fights necromorphs, which are monstrous, reanimated human corpses aboard an interstellar mining ship, the USG Ishimura.
Have you watched the prequel films?
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it.
Films?
I think I watched them both, but I definitely have seen at least one of them. They're all right. I don't remember them being anything crazy fantastic. I don't feel like I
No.
needed them beyond what I see in the game. But I think they, like you said, they were prequels. And that is touched on slightly, I think, in one or two.
Yeah,
Dead
well,
Space 1 or 2.
there's the game that came out for the Wii, which was Dead Space. I don't remember the name. That was like that was a prequel. That takes place before the game. I mean,
Yeah.
the first game as well. But then like the films told like there's two films and they bridge the gap. I think the second film the one film bridges the gap between the two games, game 1 and 2, and then the other one kind of bridges the gap of just kind of happens before the events of the game.
Yeah, there's Dead
Kind of like when they find the artifact and how people start turning into the necromorphs and
Dead Space Downfall is an American animated horror film. Yeah, it's how the Ishimura picked it up, basically. Interestingly enough, there's another film from 1991 called Dead Space.
Oh,
Pretty sure that has nothing to do. I don't see the second one.
yeah, I can't remember what it's called. It was like I want to say it's like Extraction or Extinction or there's always something like that.
What
I'll
in the-
keep going. I'll look it up while you keep.
There's a Dead Space movie for 2019. I can't tell if it's. I think it's a live action movie.
Really?
Aftermath is the other Dead Space movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a picture for this.
Well, see, look what we learned by doing this segment. This has already paid off so much.
It has. Jose Luis Garcia Balan. Oh, God.
That sounds promising already.
This is not good. Jose Luis Garcia Balan is the director, one of the writers, and also stars in it.
So this is a fan film. This is a fan film, is what you're telling me.
It must be, but there's nothing here that really tells me anything. It's just on IMDb randomly. But anyways, so Dead Space. 2008, I can't really think of what are some other horror games from that time in or around 2008. I'm going to look.
Resident Evil was still around. Silent Hill was still around.
Okay, yeah, we had Silent Hill Homecoming, which a lot of people didn't like. That came out in 2008. The second Condemned game. Fatal Frame wasn't too bad, but I would say not exactly a huge hit. More of a cult following on that one that I know of. Silent Hill Origins from 2007. Yeah, so the reason why I bring that up is because the horror genre in general at that time was kind of bleak, especially survival horror. This was before we had a ton of the first-person survival horror games that we have now. But at the time, this was a little bit different than a lot of things because it was taking on that action element where it kind of looked like Resident Evil, but played more like an action game would, I guess, or a third person shooter. When did Resident Evil 4 come out? Because I feel like that was kind of inspired, or this was inspired by that.
It came out before because Resident Evil
like
4 was on.
something.
I had that on the GameCube, so.
2005, January 2005. Wow.
Yeah, so a little
pretty early.
Yeah.
So, between then, so 3 years after that, we get this game, which is somewhat inspired by that, I would say. But obviously, I'm a huge fan of the sci-fi and horror blend. You don't really get that a lot in gaming. You do in movies, but it usually tends to be like not a very good. They don't end up being very well made, I would say. Even like Event Horizon, which obviously is a large kind of inspiration for this game, I feel like it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Like I know it's not what I would say good, but it is fun and I've always liked that movie for how horrible and creepy and crazy it is.
Yeah.
And then you mix that because you have that whole hell element or whatever from Event Horizon, and then you mix that with something like The Thing, which I feel like the
it's like
monsters
the
are created
thing.
from.
It's like the thing, Event Horizon, and Doom,
Had a
somewhat
baby.
mixed together. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have these necromorphs, which are mutated humans, which you don't really know that at first in the game, but you kind of, I mean, it's sort of obvious just by looking at them. And you have this amazing atmosphere and sound design where you can have an action game, but it doesn't feel fast paced. Like you brought up Doom, where, you know, that's kind of a sci-fi horror setting almost as well. But you're running around hallways and destroying things with a combat shotgun. Whereas here, it's not a slow-paced game, but it definitely is. You have to be a little bit more aware of your surroundings because as we have come to expect now after playing it, you know, you walk by a grate of any kind in the wall or the floor, and you're like, okay, there's some necromorphs.
Yeah, and for, like, I noticed that like the first couple levels, you're very tense. It's very like the jump scares are there, but then after a while, you just know, like, okay, I'm on an elevator. This stuff is gonna. You just know when to expect.
Yeah,
when they're gonna throw enemies at you.
Exactly.
I mean, but I guess you get more confident too, just with your own abilities too, though. And then, just like in Resident Evil, you know, you don't feel as overwhelmed with your settings.
Yeah.
You know, you feel more capable. Like I noticed, like if I'm going back, probably watch the first episode of my stream and compare it with like one of the last episodes I've done. There's probably a huge difference in how I play the game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm much less cautious, much more aggressive.
Well, and the shock factor of seeing these twisted, mutated humans kind of wears down after you've mowed through hundreds of them.
Yeah, I should go back. Side note, people interested. I had started streaming. I was streaming this game, and I'm almost done with it. I think I only have 2 or 3 chapters to go. So at some point I need to go back. I need to finish that off because that was probably one of the most fun games I've had streaming. I would say it was just a cool experience.
It's yeah. You look like you were having fun with it. So
Have you played all the games in the series? Have you played 1?
I played 1 and 2. I bought 3, but it was such a large departure from the original 2 that I think I got about a quarter of the way through and then just put it down for something else. I'm sure I probably will go back and play it one day, but I know that it is kind of ruined because of EA's. We got to throw microtransactions and get a store to the in-game store and all this other crap. Crafting.
I love the character design. Like I love what they did with the necromorphs. But I like the suit is just it's like,
oh, can I check out the suit?
It's like gothic and industrial at the same time, you know, and it's just like.
Well, they throw that out the window in, I think it's the second one or maybe the third one when you can have like different looking suits. I don't remember. It was kind of unfortunate.
I like the like this was one of the first games I remember where you didn't have a health HUD. You know, it was actually displayed on your character, which was a cool little touch.
Yeah, on your spinal column LED bar, whatever you want to call it. Speaking of gear, not Metal Gear, but just regular gear. I always thought the starting weapon was really kind of what helped make the game stand out. Because in something like Resident Evil, you just get your standard, here's a gun and here's a pistol. Or I guess it kind of depended on, like in the second one, they had different starting weapons. But either way, you got something pretty regular. Whereas here, I would say that it's fairly iconic. I don't think you would know exactly what it was unless you were familiar with the series. But anybody who is familiar with it, I mean, it's immediately recognizable, and it's the fact that it's not even really supposed to be a weapon at all. It's a plasma torch or something like that is what they call it. And it's just fun to use or a plasma cutter because it's fun to use because you can make it shoot horizontally or vertically because it kind of shoots out in a line or a wave. And the big reason for that was because in the game, there was a lot of strategy with dismemberment of like
Yes.
legs and
Yep.
arms and stuff. You could dismember their legs if they're really fast, and that would slow them down, or their arms so that they couldn't attack you and grab you.
Yeah. You can't just blast away until they're dead. You had to actually like
Pick like
piece
slice
by
them
piece.
apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Side note: I gave the plasma cutter a toss score of 11.
Oh,
So not the
very
best,
nice.
not the best, but that's a little callback to another episode. Like two
But you could
episodes ago?
upgrade. You could upgrade it. You could
That
upgrade
is
it,
true.
though.
It
I
is
mean,
upgradable. So maybe the damage would go up a little bit. That's what kind of brought it down. Because in the beginning, you know, it takes a couple of shots, 3 or 4, and you'd eventually dismember somebody, or you know, a
Yeah.
leg or something. So a lot of dismemberment talk all of a sudden. uh, and I will like going back to you were asking about Dead Space 2 and whatnot, and part of the reason why I wanted to start with Dead Space is because I would say that Dead Space 2 is definitely the better game. It has a much stronger story. The cutscenes and stuff are much more engaging. It had a much more memorable sequence of events, I guess, which, you know, that just calls together the locations as well as the things that happen there and some of the enemies that you fight. The first game is very much more of the same as you go through. But at the same time, the first game to me is the most important because it's the one that was the jumping off point for this whole
Yeah.
series.
It's like the flagship,
Yeah.
the flagpole, I guess I should say.
And at the time, it kind of stood out, especially with their marketing. Their marketing was ridiculous. It was like the game that your mom doesn't want you to play or whatever. Or
Yeah.
they had a bunch of moms come in and play the game and recorded their reactions back in 2008 before that was a whole YouTube genre of film or video. And yeah, so I really feel like although I do agree that Dead Space 2 is the better, more solid game, this one paved the way for that better experience, because you would expect it to be you would always expect the second game to be better. I would say the same thing with Mass Effect or, you know, that type of game too. But you always have to pay due diligence for the first one, and that in retrospect it may seem clunkier or may not be as good, but it did pave the way. And
I think the storytelling is an important part too. I mean, the story that's
Yeah.
there and what you know, that journey.
we talked about how it, you know, to me, I thought it relied a little bit too much on jump scares, but the story was what was the most interesting. And they did a good job of, you know, you pick up these recorded dialogue diary entries that kind of tell you
Yeah.
almost this mystery of this weird.
When did that become a thing in every sci-fi game? By the way, it's like especially if it's sci-fi and horror themed
Yeah.
whatsoever.
We got
Doom, for example. You know, you had a bunch of them.
How many people do you know who have an audio diary? You know what I mean? Like nobody. I don't know anybody who dictates their life to their phone. But I guess they figured, well, we gotta find a cheap way to cram some story into this game. But yeah, I do think that it was very alluring, the whole story of what this obelisk or this artifact that they picked up.
Yeah.
Like what happened there? Why did it turn everybody? And how did that affect our protagonist, Isaac Clarke? So yeah, very important to me. A very important game that I also am gonna go back and play. I own it on PC. I did play it on the 360 when it came out, and it's just one of those games that was pleasantly better than I had ever hoped. So, and it holds up fairly well today, I would say, especially since I know you played it fairly recently. And
yeah. I mean, graphically, I think it's still very playable. It's not like it's dated or looks bad. I mean, I think on a PC where you can upgrade the
resolution,
especially I think if
always
you
helps.
could if you could boost the resolution, or even I'm sure there might be some mods maybe with some improved textures or things of that nature. I mean,
Yeah. Exactly. So if you haven't played it, I'm sure it's super cheap for. I actually don't remember what it came out for. PC and 360.
360.
It never came out on the PlayStation.
I don't believe so.
Well, that's too bad. So
I'm
yeah,
not sure though.
go check it out.
PlayStation guy, so
Check it out. Dead Space, important game to me. Survival horror. As somebody who doesn't play a lot of survival horror games too, I actually am going to go back and play Resident Evil for not the first time, but I've never beaten that game. And
how do you plan on playing it?
I'm playing the remastered version. I was actually going to stream it for my Heavy Metal Riffs Extreme Gaming stream or whatever.
So you're playing the GameCube?
The Steam version, which I think
that's right. I forgot there was that new version. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's mostly based off from the GameCube version, just like up-resed or something.
That was such a good. Oh, the GameCube remake was so good. Oh.
I need to become a Jill sandwich and the
master of
unlocking. Yes, exactly. And I want to see a clown zombie turn and look at me at the very beginning.
Oh.
That dude needs to see some sun.
That's right. Oh boy.
But yeah. Anyway,
well, my game, Lucas, I've talked about this before on the podcast, and I think we've talked about way back in the day when we first started it. We talked about, we gave like a little bio on our gaming backgrounds, our gaming history. So, I'm taking you back to the mystical lands of 2001.
Whoa.
And a game was released that year called Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And
Yes,
I don't remember, the funny thing is, I don't think we ever played that itself in our LAN days.
No, I played it separately.
Yeah, I know we shared the game because I think all of us would play it single player, which was quite fun. But I think we never played the multiplayer. And then I think at that time too, I think I still had dial-up, so it's not like multiplayer was really an option for us back then.
Yeah.
But then came 2003, and I'm graduating from high school now. I'm working part-time, going to college, had a lot of free time, and I don't even remember how it happens, but it was announced that this was going to be a commercial expansion pack to Return to Castle Wolfenstein. It was going to have it was going to be like, this was the days before DLC. We didn't have DLC. We had expansion packs that were essentially physical DLC for games. And this was going to be a physical standalone to it called Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. But unfortunately, there were problems with the single player portion of the game, and essentially it just wasn't performing. I should mention that the Return to Castle Wolfenstein was developed by id Software, and Splash Damage was brought on to do this expansion. So they scrapped the entire single player portion, but they had the multiplayer all done. So they just said, you know what, we're going to release it. So in May 29th, 2003, freeware standalone, much as like id was famous for doing back in the day, they released the entire thing. Wolfenstein Enemy Territory was released. And then again, and I think it's important to note that in January of the next year, 2004, they released all the source code for the game, which heavily opened things up for its modding community. But 2003, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory was released, and that's probably what I think. Honestly, that's probably one of the single. If I look back, that's probably one of the single most games I think that I could say like completely changed my direction or opened me up to so many things as a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
So I jumped in, got hooked onto this game. I don't even know why, really. I think because the Castle Wolfenstein angle, and we had played World War II shooters.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was
days.
World War II at the time that really.
Yeah, Medal of Honor and Call of Duty were the most popular ones at that time. We had Medal of Honor had primarily been, it started as a single player game on the PlayStation, and then we had versions get changed. And so we played a lot of Medal of Honor. Allied Assault was a very popular game in our LAN party days.
Mm-hmm.
And then Call of Duty came out, and that kind of revolutionized things a bit as well. But then we had
Panzer
Enemy Territory. And I think for me, I still don't know what it was. You know, I think I just enjoy. This is still to me. I love the team-based aspect of the gameplay more than anything else that's released today. I love the fact that there were objectives in the gameplay, and you had classes that had to support the team. You know, you could, I mean, yeah, you could power through with a just a skill based on and certain player classes, but really to be successful, you need to have a balance of medics, engineers, and field ops to really, be successful in
Jason,
this game.
did you say engineer?
Yeah,
Oh, that didn't
didn't
work at
work.
all. Gosh dang it. Why does nothing ever work?
Was it good to say, I need an engineer?
It was, but for some reason it says it's playing, but it is actually not.
Mm.
That is so frustrating.
I hear myself.
Yeah.
If that makes you feel any better.
God darn it, man.
Wah, bum, bum, bum.
Maybe I can pull it up on my
Wah,
phone. Anyways.
bum.
Well, now it's not going to be funny, and it's just going to be me
No,
playing
now
clips, but
Yeah, now it's ruined. So that's what initially got me hooked, and then it opened me up to well, this was a different time. There was no streaming. College, what would we say? I would say Counter-Strike was the most popular like shooter at that
yeah,
time.
we
especially in
definitely
terms
played a
of-
lot of that.
especially in terms of competitive. So we had at the time MLG. I don't think really was a thing yet. There was like Cal, like the Cyber Athlete Professional League was something. I think there was something. There's a couple other leagues like that that were started up that were actually paying out money to people, and I played this game a lot.
Yes, you
This
did.
game.
You watched videos about this game when you weren't
I would
playing
watch.
the game.
Yeah, I would watch. I would play this game. I would watch frag videos. I would hang out with other people, and we would watch. We had an event. We called it ETTV and ice cream because they had a thing built in the game where you could watch streams essentially of matches, and they'd have people casting it. So you had shoutcasts. So you had play-by-play going on, watching these higher skilled competitive players play, and we'd eat ice cream and watch it. It was fun.
It's a lot of dairy.
So needless to say, I got into the competitive side of this game, and that really took me off. It was like the first time where I had played some other games online a lot before, StarCraft. I don't think Warcraft 3 was out just yet, but I played StarCraft. I had been parts of groups before, like playing. Oh gosh, it's called the Resurrection now. Archmage. Archmage was one of the first games that, as a browser-based strategy game. But I was in a guild, and I met a lot of like-minded, cool people through message boards. And that it's every once in a while I try to dig up, and I think I've caught a couple of people years later. But it's so funny because you got to think back then we were like 19, 20-year-old kids, and now we're all mid-30s adults. So it's crazy to try to catch up with people and see where their lives have taken them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had that experience, but this was the first thing like of the game like this. I mean, Aliens versus Predator was like the first game that really got me into that, but this game was a whole new level. So I met people and connected with people online. I was in a clan, and then we started playing this in competitive. We were in the Team Warfare League, and it was just like getting on, doing scrimmages, having practice, playing in matches. It was crazy. It was a whole new idea, and it was so much fun. But it was also like, I also didn't really play this game to have fun anymore. I played this game like strictly to get better.
Good.
Yeah, definitely. And it was crazy. It was just like, it's so interesting, like to think back then to where things are at now. Because you didn't know gaming was gonna ever head in the direction it's at now. But you couldn't like. It's so fun. It's like we've talked about this before. If we could reset our lives and be the age we were then with today's environment, how different
environment, yeah.
How different things would be. So I mean, this game, I just loved it. I love the fact I met a lot of cool people, and that we met. You came with me. We met people that I knew from this game in real life.
Trip to Canada, where the best McDonald's that we've ever been to.
That's right.
Lies somewhere between here
we drove to Montreal. I had a buddy from New York that he came and stayed with us, and we had our apartment in Rockford for a little bit. Unfortunately, he ended up going to the military, and we went our separate ways. I haven't talked to him in forever since then. But It was just like a real powerful thing for my life. It was like a very social thing, but I enjoyed that gameplay so much, and not just like the class-based stuff that I touched on, but it was there was a lot of there's a skill like a high degree of skill, and a skill gap in that game, just because it wasn't like shooters like we have now where you're aiming down the sights. There wasn't aim assist and auto aim and crap like that in this game. You had just one gun, both sides. It performed exactly the same way, and it was all about your ability to move and your ability to track your target and get a headshot, because 3 headshots would
Circle
get
strafe.
a kill. Yeah,
Bunny jump.
I mean, it was all about circle strafing
Bunny
and
hop.
bunny jumping to exploit the physics. Just like, I still think to this day, like one of the most amazing feelings is loading up Quake, not Quake, but I say a Quake Tournament Edition, or even if you play, oh gosh, there's a free to play version, but being able to strafe run in that game and then to get the bunny hopping, and when you're just moving at top speed, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest rushes in games, to be able to navigate a level like that.
Mhm.
It takes to bunny hop the right way like that. You can't. People think they can do it, but there's definitely a method. And it took me forever to learn how you're hopping, but then you have to move the mouse in a certain way too, because moving the mouse,
You had to do it back and
maintain,
forth, left and right.
yeah, you have to do it back and forth, left and right, and you get acceleration based off of that. It's crazy how that engine would do things. And I mean, just learning the trick jumps to the game. I mean, I can't think of anything that was more rewarding though, when you're fighting someone and you're trying to outstrafe them, and you get like the hit sounds when you get those headshots.
Ting, 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 ting.
I can still hear that this day. It's like forever ingrained into my memory. And it was just
That's
like,
what heaven sounds like.
yeah, I wish Crossfire was still a thing. That was this instant messenger back in the day.
Crossfire!
And it would show you what games your friends were playing, and it had the ability to join their game. It had an in-game server browser. It could launch your games, and you could join games your friends were playing right through it. And it had time tracking. It would track how long you played games. I'm just curious how many hours. Unfortunately, Crossfire's gone, so there's no way you can look it up. I'm just curious how many hours. I know it was over 1,000. I had over 1,000 hours in Wolfenstein enemy territory,
but was it over 9,000?
Oh, it was definitely not over 9,000. But I mean, this game introduced me to like that, competitive gaming, social gaming with a group, and then voice chat. This is the first time Ventrilo, Mumble, those are all things I've never done before that we all,
Do you guys want to play games? I'm
IRC,
35.
gosh, IRC was a thing too. And I got sponsored because people sent me a free PC case. So,
oh, God, that's right. You bastard.
But then I quit the team, and they got all butthurt.
Still got the
I said
computer case.
butthurt.
Hey,
no, my mom still does.
That's true. Did you say engineer?
Yeah, at one point. I hope it doesn't work again. Yeah, it's still not playing anything.
We need an engineer.
There it is. Wow, that was totally worth the 20 minutes.
Hold on, there's more. Hold on. I want to take you down a walk. I want to walk you down memory lane.
All right,
what I'm saying here.
Wunderbar.
These are team
So
commands.
The German ones.
Gosh,
Yeah.
this is so sad.
Revive me.
I mean, I still hear where is it? I just saw it. This one. You'd say revive me, and then somebody'd go
I'm a medic.
like 8,000 times. Just play. Oh, I'm a medic. I'm a medic. I'm a medic. And then they
my
like
mom
run
thought
away
this
from
game
you.
was called Need a Medic, because that's all she would hear when I was playing it.
Need a medic.
Every time you down someone, that's what would happen.
Well, because you'd always get that medic who's just basically, because the medics would get extra health, and so they would use them basically to be a soldier.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck?
Depending on what mods the server was running, typically though, a medic would spawn in with extra health, and since you were a medic, you could drop med packs that you could heal yourself. So of course, everyone's going to be a medic so they can keep themselves alive and exploit it and Rambo and.
Keep yourself
I think I'm gonna
alive.
have to after this episode goes live, I'll have to post some frag videos on the website, just because I mean, it is a thing of beauty, man. I don't know. This game was always a special thing for me, and servers are still up. One of my buddies that I played with lives in St. Louis. He actually started the subreddit for it. I'm one of the moderators. It still exists, but Enemy Territory subreddit. So the game's still out there. I mean, you can still play it. I've never gone back. It's just I don't know. A, I'm not as good, but B, it's just like it's hard to go back to something like that. It's weird because when you come to a point in your life where you know it's gone, and you're never going to play it again, it's just not going to be the same. So then you have to just you kind of make peace with that and you walk away. So you just don't going back to it like hurts more.
Oh yeah, I know because I tried to do that with Ultima Online and it was awful. That doesn't.
And now it just kind of it lives on in nostalgia,
Yes.
I should also mention that I also played with the game with a garbage HUD. Like I had all my graphics turned off. I had like the game looked like crap, so I could maximize the FPS.
You needed 120 frames per second on your CRT.
Yeah. Yep.
It's true.
I mean, that's the like config editing. You had everything turned off, shaders, shadows, everything, and then there was like ways you could like customize your field of view. I had the gun wasn't visible.
Hold on. Speaking of customization, I think we all know the most important thing that you could customize was your name. Remember how long it took you to figure out, like, how does everybody get all these colors in their name?
Yeah, because you join it and people have colors. You're like, my name's just white. And then you learn there's, like, color codes by using, Shift 6. What is that symbol called? It's the upward triangle. It's not tilde. What is that thing called, that symbol?
The Shift 6.
Yeah, I mean, you would use that and enter a number, and that would correspond to a color, and then you could type...
The caret.
Gosh.
Obviously,
Caret, yeah.
And I didn't look that up. I knew it from school.
Oh my gosh! See, I'm just not even talking.
Your nerd boner is like.
Yeah, it is. I'm just rambling about different ideas.
Oh my God, gross.
There hasn't been a game I think that I've fallen into like this. There probably never will be because I just don't have. I'm an adult now. I have responsibilities. I have to do things in the world.
You know what's sad, Jason?
But
there was a time in the past that you played enemy territory for the last time and you didn't even know it.
It's true.
All done. You put it away.
Was I still playing it when we lived together? I don't think so. I think we moved on already then. I think it was still there. It wasn't a spy player. Played World of Warcraft and a lot of Call of Duty too. Those were like my go-tos then.
Well, it'll always be alive in your dreams, much like me.
And it's essentially, unfortunately, Splash Damage. For me, I feel like that was Splash Damage's highest point. They went on to do Enemy Territory. Quake Wars was their next game, which wasn't. I mean, it was kind of popular, but I never liked it. Then they did. I believe Brink was their next game after that, which that unfortunately.
No, they did Gears of War. I guess.
Splash Damage?
Yeah, it's listed in their games.
They must have helped do something, maybe a port or something on it.
That could be. Gears of War 4, Dirty Bomb.
Oh. Yeah, well, Dirty Bomb. Well, they did Brink, and then they did the multiplayer for Arkham Origins, I believe.
Yeah.
They did that, and then they did, I don't remember if they had anything else after that, and then Dirty Bomb. And Dirty Bomb was probably the closest thing they've done to Enemy Territory. It has classes again, it has that same objective-based multiplayer. And for people wondering what that's like, think of like to some extent what you see in Overwatch with some of the moving the train or moving the payload. Yeah. They had missions like that, but you had other things where you had specific objectives to do, and it was stopwatch based, whoever could do it the fastest. So Dirty Bomb was very much closest to that. Unfortunately, Dirty Bomb is plagued with hackers, and I won't go back to it, but I would say Dirty Bomb really did capture that feeling of Enemy Territory.
It was good for a while until it officially released, and then everybody hacked it or whatever.
I haven't played that. I should go back and give that a whirl again. I haven't played that in quite some time. Be interested to see if they've improved at least the net code and the cheat detection. So
for sure,
that's the problem with online games in the PC world. You got hackers and other people that just want to troll and grief everyone else. So I don't want to ramble on with this too much longer. So that is Enemy Territory. Feel free to look into it. There was a time being there was going to be a version of a game you might recall. It was called Quake Live, which you could play Quake right in your browser.
Yeah.
And then that kind of went away. There was a team working on Enemy Territory Live, but then it just fell apart. So, yeah, kind of want to install the game now. Give it a go.
Just watch some videos.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, and that's where we found In Flames as well. What is the
Yeah.
song they're playing?
Yeah, one of the frag videos. That's how we discovered In Flames. It's true.
Cloud Connected.
Yep. Soil Work, In Flames, all that stuff back in the day. Yep.
Taking me back.
Yep.
Take me down, sweet sugar. Or whatever.
Yep. There you go. So that's my pick for this, rounding out the games that made us enemy
Games
territory.
made us.
To just summarize, I don't think if it wasn't for enemy territory, I wouldn't have that competitive drive that I have in games, and like the ability just to sink hours into a multiplayer game that really is
Well,
the same thing
You
over
don't
and
live
over.
in your mom's basement anymore. You live in your own basement now.
Basement. Yep. So how you've seen me play Astronauts, how you're going to see me play Smash Bros. Yeah, very much. Very much. So thank you for listening. Let's do an overclocked remix break. Let's shake things up.
Okay. I'm doing... Oh, nothing works. Huh. Interesting.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Good thing you didn't pay for this one.
No,
Oh, wait.
it doesn't have to do with the app. It's my computer.
Oh.
I don't know why there's no sound coming from
Oh.
it. Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why.
because that's a...
I found out
confusing.
why. Ooh, I don't want to change it. My
Yeah, just
my
play it.
playback device is
Oh, gosh, yeah, don't mess
is
with
wrong.
it now.
And God knows if I do it, we'll all die.
As always, we like to feature a random remix from the front page of OC Remix. It is a great fan community we've listened to music from forever. And probably if you listen to a lot of our friends that do that are part of the Make Us Better community, you'll probably see Overclock Remix float around there a lot too. So I'd like to think we've helped influence people into the ways of the OC Remix, because that's what we do.
You'll have to remind me. Have we played The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Awakening of the Four Sage?
No, but this is one that I talked about that I really liked, that I was hoping we'd get to play sometime.
Well,
it's a
The
That's what
time
we
is
got
now.
tonight?
The time is now, young sir. Or
Excellent.
Middle-aged
So,
sir.
this was posted from June 14th. This is The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, Awakening of the Forest Sage. Our remixer is Fururazu. I don't even know. Furorezu or Z-U, as people will say. Fururazu, I think. I think that's how I'm gonna go with it. Fururazu.
I'm impressed.
I'm sure everyone knows Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, released by Nintendo, 1998 on the Nintendo 64. Music by the famous Koji Kondo. This is going to be a remix of the Lost Woods theme. This is a rock genre. It's aggressive, it's chill, but it's pretty cool. So, and guess what, guys? It's not 20 minutes long, right? It's only
And
4
it's not
minutes.
our
How about
girlfriend,
that?
Rebecca E. Tripp.
It's not our girl, Rebecca E. Tripp. So we are going to play Awakening of the Forest Sage. I hope you dig the remix. We'll be back after this short break. And of course, as always.
Yes.
Thank you. I couldn't get that out. If you like this remix, you can find it and so much more ocremix.org. So we're going to play this remix, and we'll be right back for some What You Played. Okay, go. Woohoo! We're back. See, it's like mellow, but then it has like some driving parts. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, when it's just doing the little guitar riff,
It reminded me of something some gamers who also have a band in high school would play for, and everybody's just like, "What is this?"
What is going on? I don't get this. How does this work? Lucas, you ready to do some what you playing?
Yahoo!
Is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Hell no.
Oh,
You ask me that every time. It's Sunset.
that sounds like it.
Sunset Riders.
Oh, see,
I
I
think
just
it's the
never
same. It sounds like
That's
the
why.
same sound chip, same
Yeah,
instruments.
I never played Sunset Riders really, so I'm not too familiar with the music in that.
It's a great game, and if you play it on the SNES, you get an extra character to choose from. Which
I don't know.
sounds good.
Seth likes it, and Seth doesn't like it, and Seth is lame. So, Sean Capri is here. Hello,
It's your
Sean.
better half,
Hi, hi, Sean.
or your better third, I guess, because now there's 3 of us.
Well, this got awkward.
It's okay. It's okay. I told you we have an open relationship, and if you want to see other podcasts, it's fine.
I do. I want to taste greatness.
Taste the greatness. It's
That's right.
Fluxtaposed.
Let's talk some games. Myself, we jumped into Comedians in Cars, getting coffee on Netflix. Watched the most recent. There's new episodes out. Watched them all.
I haven't. I started watching some of them, but I saw they had updated the screenshot, and there was Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, this season has Dave Chappelle, Dana Carvey, Zach Galifianakis,
Whoa,
Kate
strong
McKinnon,
showing. Strong
Alec Baldwin.
showing.
Yeah, there's some good people there. My big problem with how Netflix does it though is originally the show was on, it was Crackle, exclusive to Crackle, and
Everyone's favorite platform.
for whatever reason, once it came to Netflix, they don't show it in the order that they originally aired.
I noticed that. Yeah.
They're like bunched together based on, I don't know what they use to group them. So I find that to be a little annoying, but at least all these episodes were released at the same time. So I really like it. I'm not a car guy so much, but I think it's really cool to hear Jerry Seinfeld talk about cars, and he always has like these unique vehicles that you haven't seen, always classic cars, and it's cool to see the history behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know a whole lot of comics. I know like the popular ones, of course. So it's interesting to see how these people think and like how they talk about stuff. And there's always times where I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about right now.
Comedians can be somewhat fast paced, and
yeah,
when their humor is, when they stop doing dad jokes, I'm lost, or absurdist.
I
humor.
find myself though with all the B-roll they have of the coffee making, I was like, all right, I need a cup of coffee.
I need a coffee
Like, 'cause
now.
It just looks so good.
It does.
Now here's the fun thing that from the previous episodes, previous seasons were always sponsored by Acura, so there's always the Acura product placement. Now it's pretty clear they're sponsored by Lavazza, so there's like random shots of Lavazza coffee cups and things of that nature for the product placement. But
Speaking of product placement, I'm going to enjoy some Dasani sparkling water.
Ooh.
You can pick it
So
up
we
at
watched
Target.
that during that same nap time that Aiden had. I sunk some good time into Octopath Traveler. I think I've got like 30 minutes left of the demo, so I'll probably round that out. Maybe I won't. I mean, the game comes out this week. Not sure. I think I'm pretty good. Just roll into that once it comes out.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna see this in the full game probably. So
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that I can carry the progress over if I choose. If I don't want to start a new save, I can just keep playing
but
this
you
one.
need that fresh new experience, not that dirty demo.
Not really. This is dad gaming. You gotta take the time you get and run with it.
That's true. You've only played 4 hours of a 167-hour game, so
That's right. You need all the help you can get. I did a review for PSVG for the game Miles and Kilo. That's up on the. It's a review. It's a video review, so nothing for you to read. It's a little. I describe it as a runner. I don't really think of it as a platformer. But I think of it more as a runner.
I get it, because miles and kilometers.
Exactly, and it's a fun little game.
It looks like
16-bit
Adventure Island.
pixel. It does. Yeah, it does. It was fun. It's a fun little game. So check out that review. And lastly, Lucas, I went people on my oldies Discord were talking about Hollow Knight. I was like, just when they think I'm out,
Pulls you right
they
back in.
put me back in, and I was like, okay, here I go. And yeah, last week I jumped back into Hollow Knight hard, and I was like, okay, I have a specific set of goals. Let's do it. So I went and I got a couple of the badges that I know I wanted to get. I found out that there's a boss that once you kill him, he gives you a map, and then once you get that map, it shows on there all the grubs you haven't saved yet. So I was like, cool, because otherwise I never thought I'd get all the grubs. So I went and got all the grubs. Which
I need
in
your grub
turn
map.
let me unlock the strongest form of the nail, your sword. I got the strongest version of that. Then I went and that's dreaded Coliseum of Fools. Well, it's done. I wrecked it. I streamed it. I've got a recording up on our YouTube of the run that I actually completed it at. So I finally did the impossible deed, finished that, and I felt immensely rewarded upon that completion. I just finally felt like, yes, I've done this. This weight had been lifted off me. And then there were two other there were two other endings to the game that I hadn't gotten yet, and I got those. So all in all, I'm sitting at 96% completion. I don't want to go for 100. I don't have the desire. And plus with the DLC, I guess you can technically get 106. So I mean,
that's not how percentages work.
I know. So at this point, I feel like I'm in a good place with it. I've done everything I wanted to do. I've overcome the things that were challenging me. I've beaten the bosses. I'm like, okay, I've done what I need to do. I can be done. I can put the game away. And oddly, once that happened, I was just like, what do I play? Like, I had some downtime one night. I was like, I'm gonna play something. And it's like, I don't have anything I want to play. And I like all of a sudden like this urge, like, you know, when we go to bed at the end of the night, it's like, oh, I kind of want to play a game. But now that Hollow Knight's done, that's completely gone. Like that hook is finally gone, and I'm just like, I'm free to like, do I want to watch something? So I started watching Adventure Time again. I'm like in season 2 of Adventure Time, and it's just been nice to be free of my self-imposed rules and weights. And yeah, really, it was, man.
Your punishment must be more severe.
Total time for 40 hours in that game, so I think it's
40 hours. Wow.
Yeah, for 40 hours
for that type of game is pretty good.
I don't know what it is. I just really liked it, I guess. So that's where I'm at, man. That's everything.
All right. Well, I'll go now. I think I'll start with some Fallout New Vegas. Oh, big surprise. Hey, guess what? I'm done with it. I finished it because I want to be. I didn't do the Lonesome Road DLC, but I don't care. I just need to be done with it. I could feel it.
Want this lonesome road, only one that I have ever known.
I don't know why, but at the beginning it sounded like you were singing that to the tune of I'm the one that wants to be with you. Yeah, exactly.
Deep inside, I hope you feel it too.
Oh, I had you. Here's the thing. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I've talked your ears off about it, but I do want to say this. Because of the way that I was trying to beat this game, and I was like, oh, I need to do the DLC because I want to experience these, get my money's worth. I feel like the story overall had almost no impact on me, especially towards the end. One, because I was trying to get through it, but also because I kept interrupting what I was doing with doing DLC that takes me away for like 4 hours or 6 hours from the main story. I complete that little subset of a story, side mission thing, and then come back and try to continue where I left off with the whole main mission of the story. And by the end of it, I just kind of felt like, well, that was a thing that happened. And I wonder how much of that was just because of the open world nature, where you can start the main quest and then you can go off like Skyrim or any other game. You can start the main quest and then go off for 20 hours and completely ignore it. And then you come back and go, who is this guy? I don't know. Shoot him, kill him, whatever. 'Cause I kind of feel like I sided with Mr. House, which I think I said felt like it wasn't.
Mr. House, that's his name. That name again is
Mr.
Mr. House.
I felt like it was kind of not in my character to do that, but by the time that I had to make these decisions, I just wanted to be done, and I wasn't willing to turn back after that. So it's a little unfortunate that was the case. I enjoyed the game, but I did feel like it had a very low impact at the end of the day, which is a little unfortunate. So
at the end of the day,
why do we fall down, Master Bruce?
I'm a good guy. And that
how do I?
the extent of that impersonation. That's all you can do.
We don't need any more. The podcast is done now. We fulfilled our impersonation quota for the day.
Except the funny thing is like our impersonation isn't of Michael Caine. Our impersonation is of Ego Raptor's impersonation of Michael Caine.
Most of my voices are just Ego Raptor, much like the Metal Gear. Cartoon. Speaking of cartoons, Mario and Rabbids. This game.
That's a good game.
I finished Spooky Trails. Ooh, spooky trails.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
When I see you just look
up, I was mentally like in my head remembering.
Oh, okay. I thought something was happening and you were talking to your wife.
Oh no.
I was gonna say when I see you look up, I'm like, what's going on?
I think she's in bed, and I keep reading Sean Capri's message in chat that says "go deep," and I'm not sure if I'm turned on but confused at the same time, and I'm not sure.
Go deep or go home. But what if home is deep?
Helm's Deep.
See, oh God, he had vowels. Oh no, what are we gonna do? So anyway,
just stop podcasting.
More things. Finish Spooky Trails. Here's the funny thing about this game, and it happens with just about any strategy game I find, especially of the XCOM nature, turn-based, unlocking things, etc. There's this curve of strategy or curve of difficulty where when you start, it's like really, really difficult because your options are typically limited. And as you continue to play, you unlock more characters, you unlock more technology, more weapons and stuff. Your ability to handle situations opens up a lot. And so you can usually tackle problems from multiple different ways, and it kind of stops becoming as much of a challenge. And there's a little bit of that here, but I'm not finding it to be as much of the case, which is nice. And I think part of that helps because you can go back and do those challenges, which even some of those are weird because they're not always like, hey, kill everything that you possibly can. Sometimes it's you have to get into this zone and you don't just walk there. You have to manipulate the enemies to basically bounce you when they hit you in certain directions and stuff like that. So it gets a little interesting.
Yeah.
With that. So I'm still having a good time. It's really enjoyable. Again, like I said, I think it's one of my favorite games of the year for sure. Probably one of the only games I played that came out this year. But
wait, excuse me.
Oh,
wow.
Thank you, Owen Wilson.
I did that wrong.
What do you has wow. Sean Capri with the jokes.
He's got jokes.
He got jokes. He's good with name play, I've noticed. Not
well,
so much
with
foreplay, but
if your last name was Capri, I mean
that's true. You do your whole life. You're named after a pant. What the hell was I gonna say? Gosh dang it. Something important, I'm sure. Oh well. I'll just move on to Shovel Knight now. The only reason why I bring up Shovel Knight is because I got that new controller. Actually, it's right here.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
If you don't watch the live show, then you're really missing out right now.
People don't know about this. Not many people do, I don't think.
This is the controller.
This is a Switch controller, mind you.
It's a Switch controller based off the Xbox One mold. You can really tell because it looks exactly like an Xbox One controller. The only difference is that they slanted the plus and minus, or well, what would be the start and back buttons are kind of slanted, which I don't mind. There. You know what? I really like. This is a $25 controller, basically. Wireless. Battery life is questionable. It's probably one of those that I'm gonna have to, plug in at the end of the night if I want to be able to use it. There was a
Can you play it? Can you play it while it's charging though, if you had to?
I think you can, but the cord is not very long. It is this long.
What's it charge off of? Does it charge off USB-C or does it?
No, it's regular USB, micro.
Okay. Oh, micro.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a longer cable, you can maybe remedy that, but.
Yeah, probably.
I play at my desk though, so I mean, I don't.
It's not like you're really that far away.
Yeah, I understand why that's an issue for a normal setup.
So you have your usual issues with a third-party controller. Mostly that the biggest thing I noticed when I first picked it up is that it's a little bit, I don't want to say lighter, but the plastic feels cheaper, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's smooth, whereas on the one controller, it's textured a little bit. It has like a less of a smooth
more
feeling.
Tactile.
Yeah, more of a grip. The thumbsticks feel good, except for when you spin them. Sometimes there's like a.
Somebody say the thumbsticks feel good except when you use them.
Yeah, that would defeat the purpose. That'd be horrible. They just like, how when you spin them around, there can be a little bit of a crunchiness in certain spots. It seems to have gone away by now, but there was definitely that problem at first. The D-pad is nice and clicky. The buttons, while not rounded, are like the Xbox One buttons are decent enough to touch. The real problem is that it just has sharp corners, especially on the shoulder buttons. Like, it's nice and clicky, as you can hear. You want that. But on the shoulder buttons, like the L and R, or LB and LRB buttons, they're just kind of, like, the corners are kind of sharp. The triggers are kind of sharp a little bit. It doesn't feel the best to hold, but it's not the worst by far. So I would say, you know what, for $25 versus $60 for a Pro controller, I think it's worth getting, actually. Okay. I mean, it's weird because you order this, there's like 8,000 of this this very same controller on eBay, which I'm always leery of. You can't just buy it on Amazon. Or actually, I think you can, but I was given the link from somebody who already owned one, so I didn't want to take the chance of buying the wrong one. But what I wanted to say was there was an update that you have to connect to your computer to get this thing to work. Something to do with a Switch update that happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. When you get it to actually pair, it freezes the Switch. And so it took me forever to figure out why it wasn't updating. And for anybody who gets this controller, and if you want to ask me where I got it, I'll send you a link. You have to have the controller off when you plug it into your computer. I don't know why that matters, but you hold down the left thumbstick and then you plug it in. And it has to be off. If it's on, it won't do it. And when you hold down the left thumbstick, it puts it into update mode. I don't know.
That's weird.
It's a Chinese product, so the documentation is very sketchy. It took me forever. I had to look it up. So, yeah, if anybody gets this, just know you're going to have to do this update process before it works. The reason why I talk about this in Shovel Knight is because, oh my God, what a freaking difference. So much better.
Without having to use the Joy-Con.
Yeah, ridiculous. Just having the D-pad right there is nice. But, it's crisp, clean, refreshing, and it feels good in my hand, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm playing, just a refresher, I am playing Plague of Shadows.
Gosh.
That's the one with where you throw the bombies, right?
Yeah. Learning curve to get used to them.
It is, and coming back to it after not playing it for a long time is even worse. But I like the idea. The problem is you don't flow as well as you do with Shovel Knight. There's a lot of bouncing and stuff with Shovel Knight, and here there's more like jump manipulation with holding down your jump burst. It's all
momentum based, and
yeah.
The big issue I have with it though is you're playing Shovel Knight again but now you're Hollow Knight.
Yeah, they just
Not Hollow
manipulated
Knight. Plague Knight.
Plague Knight. I apparently knew what you meant. Yeah, and they retooled the stages a little bit, but as far as the layout goes, it's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. So that's why it's nice once you get to Spectre or Torment, because it's completely different.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, I got the treasure trove, so I might as well play it. And then lastly, Incredibles 2. I went and saw a movie in the theater. I went to a children's movie by myself at 8:00 at night.
You pedophile.
Obviously, I was there for the 3 other people who were there at the same time. Seriously, it was almost completely empty, which I love. I don't mind. I would be great. I'd be fine being the only person in the audience. That would be awesome. You know what, though? Incredibles 2, they played this little thing beforehand, and it was talking about how it's been 14 years since the first movie. Can you believe that?
Wow.
That's crazy. Wow. But it was worth it because while the story was pretty predictable, but it was solidly told. The storytelling was told in a good way. So even though I could see kind of where they were going with it, I didn't mind it as much because sometimes there's a certain comfort in that. Like, you know that you don't really have to worry about storytelling twists. You're just kind of like, I bet I know where this is going. Okay, yeah, that's where it went, and I'm fine with that. And what helped with that, other than the storytelling, was the incredible aesthetic.
Oh boy!
Right, because it's
oh boy!
Jeez. And it's just super fun. The way the lighting that they did in this movie and the color and the whole aesthetic really helps. I don't want to give too much away, even though I just don't want to spoil anything or really even tip off what this is about if anybody who's going to watch it and is not familiar with it. But just there's like a texture to it sometimes, like the lighting, and they did a really good job of making it kind of feel the colors of comic books, if that makes any sense. Very vibrant, much like most Pixar movies, but I'm still just blown away by the feeling of the lighting that they can get and the moods that they can get, because it's sort of realistic, but it's almost exaggerated, I guess. You know what I mean? It's stylized, but it's still grounded in reality. So it just looks really cool. And I appreciated that. So all in all, I'd say if you can go see it, go see it. If you liked Incredibles, I don't know if I'd say it was, to me, it was better than the first one. I just felt, I don't know. It's hard to say, because there were some parts I liked about the first movie that weren't present here, where they were dealing more with like being a super team as a family, having your children accompany you. Whereas here, this was almost like Elastigirl, the movie. There's a lot of Elastigirl
from the trailers.
Yes, and that continues in. And if you like Mrs. Incredible Butt, you're going to see a lot of Mrs. Incredible Butt in this movie. So a lot of CG butt in this movie. So if you're into that, that's uncomfortable. She's got the mom bod, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I definitely would say go see this. Even if you have to see it alone, like a creep, like I did. It was worth it. So there you have it. There you have it.
I like it.
Good.
I want to mention that another platform fighter comes out to Steam Early Access on Thursday, Icon's Combat Arena.
Yeah. Which
I'm really hopeful to play, because I was in the beta and I never had a chance to jump in on any nights the servers are up. So I'm finally going to play that on Thursday. So I'll probably do a stream. So if people want to check that out, probably want to, because it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so good, so good.
If you say so.
It's because you're not good at them, Lucas. All right, you might want to practice up before Smash Bros. That's what I'm saying.
Smash Bros is gonna be my practice, because I don't like these inferior experiences. I'm gonna go for. I've tried some of them. Brawlhalla. I mean.
Well, trust me, this one is probably the most promising of all of them. I feel pretty confident in saying that.
That's what they all say.
That's true.
I'll be the judge of that.
Shall we do some grab bag and
Sure.
shut this show down? Because
Shut
we
her
got
down.
Dan Anthony, our correspondent, the man of the land, the dude in the street.
Eye in the sky.
Yeah, all around great guy. Dan Anthony coming at us with. He's quoted a tweet for us at the. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Charbonnet Labat Glapion Funeral Home in Treme. Matthews was sitting in a chair, or Treme.
I have
Matthews
no clue.
was sitting in a chair, video game controller in hand, surrounded by his favorite snacks and his beloved Boston Celtics on the television screen. Literally, there's a guy, he's dead, and he's sitting there. You have to find the tweet because this link didn't
so this
display it.
person, okay, so they're saying, hey, at the Charbonnet Labat Blue Funeral Home.
This is Dan quoted this tweet or this article, but yeah, this guy, he's sitting there, he's like in his Celtics jersey, holding a game controller, like watching, and he's just chilling there in the chair, and they've got the game on a TV, and he's like looking at it. So he's like, he's displayed, essentially.
I'm gonna watch the video. The audio should not come through based on that. Wow, that is very creepy.
Yeah. Isn't it? I've never seen like an instance where I've seen a human body displayed such as that.
Now, normally you would say like, "Oh, I couldn't even tell." Like I wouldn't even. I wouldn't even.
You know what?
He's not. Go ahead.
He's not even watching the Celtics, so they have like They have like the NBA gameplay from whatever NBA 2K18 or whatever it is. That's just looping.
He's playing it from beyond the grave.
Yeah.
Normally, you would say like, "Oh, I can't even tell." He has Barks root beer and Doritos. It looks like. Normally, you would say like,
"Zebra cakes."
I can't even tell that zebra cakes are the shit, dude. I can't even tell that they're not alive anymore. Here, he looks like a wax statue.
Yeah.
Just the way he's sitting is very there's something weird about it. It looks like somebody who fell asleep in the chair holding a game controller, but you know that they're not alive. And so
gosh, he was only 18. That's the real tragedy there.
That's the real kicker. I wonder how he passed.
Yeah. So Dan asked the question, how would you like to be displayed?
In the ground. Where
I think I want to show where I do my best work. You know, that really captures me. Yeah. Yeah.
Just the thinking man on a porcelain throne.
Hunched over, smartphone in hand, watching something.
Do you go for the fake poo? Like, do you go full detail?
I think you need to have a fake poo in the toilet. I think we need to capture the full experience. Yeah, right. I think we'd be cheating. We'd be cheating if we didn't.
Send pics of poop so that we know we can chisel that out for you.
Okay.
I like that. How would I like to go? I want to be displayed in a car that's much nicer than I could afford. So basically anything made in the year that I died, because we all know I'm going to be driving a 20-year-old car for the rest of my life. You know, something nice like a Chevy Cobalt or, you know, an REO Speedwagon. And then the entire cabin will be filled with Beanie Babies. Like up to my neck. Like you won't see anything but my head. And I'll be wearing a luchador mask, so you barely even know it's me unless you were there for me. And yeah, I don't know, like various food just around, kind of like this guy, you know, like a McDonald's bag, some chips, dusting on my face.
Oh, some Doritos, like some Doritos powder.
Yeah, exactly. Just, I want them to have to smear food on my face after I died. If Doritos are even around anymore, they'll probably be bought out by Taco Bell by that point. Or do they own that?
What did
that might have already
Demolition
happened.
Man tell us that Taco Bell's going to be the only restaurant to survive the big one?
I would like to take you to dinner. We are going to Taco Bell.
Look at Dan. Dan ceremoniously shows up just in time for his
Wow, that seems pretty suspicious.
prime time.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, say la vie. Okay. That's
Okay.
Those are the words. Oh, you didn't. Speaking of words, there's a typo here, unless you just didn't change it. But we'll get to that.
Oh, where?
You'll see. It's not a typo, but it's a.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I didn't know if you'd just read it. It's a very important distinction that we need to make behind the scenes.
Yeah, there was a big change we had to make here because we're about to go to our outro. So, Lucas, are we done? Is that how you display yourself? Is that what we're saying?
Yep. All the things I said. All the things I said. All the things I said. Running through my head. Running through my head.
Copyright.
Banned.
Banned. All right, that is going to do it this week for Fluxtaposed. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the show, please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed. There's all you can help us do great things. Don't help some people. You can help some people be better, or you can help us be selfish. I mean, that's what you're going up against here.
Help us amass wealth like dragons. We will sit on a hoard of money in a cave.
But we
somewhere.
don't. We've not taken any money. Every bit of money that we've gained from you awesome people has gone back into this podcast or gone back to you in forms of giveaways and more giveaways. And we'd like to keep that coming. So with that, we want to say thank you to all of our patrons, each and every one of you. But a special thanks to our arbiters of awesomeness, Kyle Heyman, Edwin Callow, Tyler Rolland, Tom Servo, and our executors of excellence, Josh Burboni, Dan Anthony, hi Dan, and Siri Renee. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. It's time to go away. So we will be back next week for more Fluxtaposed. I should have said like what we're doing next week on the show because I'm sure I have it scheduled out, but I don't remember. So whatever. It's not happening. Get ready for Netflixation vote. Let's do it.
Ooh.
Goodbye. Goodbye.